this is Diane from Teach Pre-K, and I am here to talk about your morning routine in preschool and pre-K. And this might work for kindergarten and some other grades too, but I teach preschool and pre-K, so this is what I know best. So I've tried lots of different things. I've tried having the kids come in, having a teacher on the rug, singing songs and doing little hand games and chants, things like that. I have also tried question of the day and had a teacher read them the question of the day. The kids put their name into yes or no. We'll do a question of the day, little graphic circle time, and talk about which had more, which had less, and things like that. But I have found that that just doesn't really work for my drop off routine. I have a 10-minute drop off window. So I need the kids to do things independently because sometimes there's just myself and I station myself at the door and greet the kids on their way in. And then one teacher is inside with all the kids as they come in, which, if they're trickling in slowly, is fine. But sometimes we get a big influx of kids, and then I'm sitting there waiting at the door, and those kids need to have something to do that is not all related on the teacher interacting with them the whole time. So I have set up my morning routine in the following way. Like I said, I am there at the door and I am ready to greet the kids and give them gentle reminders of what they need to do before they even get in the classroom. In my school, their hooks for their coats and backpacks are not inside the classroom. They are outside the classroom and clearly labeled with their names. So I'll start the year letting the parents know that I would like the kids to become independent, find their own name, and hang up their own coat and backpack. Of course, they're going to need guidance at the beginning of the year till they really know where that coat hook is. And some of them are 3 years old, so they might need guidance the whole year, but they start to kind of get the gist of it and know what is expected of them and where everything needs to go. So, one thing that I do with stationing myself at the door is I just make sure that the coat gets on the coat hook and the backpack gets on the hook. I also have my kids bring a water bottle for snack time, and for if it's hot, we take the water bottles outside for them. And they can also get a drink during center time during the day when they're roaming freely in the room. So I have a little bin where they put their water bottles as they come in. So my morning kids, I watch them hang their stuff up. If they come up to the door where I'm there with the hand sanitizer and to greet them, I'll say, "Hey, it's so good to see you today. Do you have a water bottle with you?" Some of them do, some of them don't. I make a mental note if they don't that they're going to need a water cup for snack. But if they do, they go back, get their water bottle, and put it in the tray if they forgot. If they remember, I say, "Whoa, thanks so much for remembering your water bottle today." I make sure I make a little personal connection with each one of the kids. I'll compliment them on what they're wearing, or I might bring up, "Hey, how was swim lessons yesterday? How was ballet? Oh, was your weekend at the cabin with your family wonderful?" So I'll remember a little tidbit about them from the prior weeks and make sure that I mention that on their way in. I give them their little hand squirt and they come in my classroom. When they come in my classroom, they know they have another thing to do. I have these little name strips with their pictures on it on a little table with a pocket chart on the wall. They pick up their name, so if they can't read their name yet, they can surely find their face, and they put it in the pocket chart, and then they will go to the library to read a book, the magnet board to play with the magnets, or one of 3 activity table or morning work tables that I have set out. One of them will always be a fine motor or writing activity. And how I do that is we start with Play-Doh at the beginning of the year. And they learn how to use the Play-Doh, how to put the Play-Doh away, how to put the Play-Doh toys away. But as we learn how to use our crayons, our markers, our scissors, our glue, our bingo daubers, our stencils, our stamp pads, all those things will get a turn at that table where they get to practice. And personally, if I taught them how to use scissors, and this is beginning of the year stuff, if I taught them to use scissors, the next day I'm going to put strips of paper and scissors out because I want them to have an opportunity to practice a new skill. And the new skill isn't always just the cutting, it's the cleaning up after the cutting. It's where do the scissors go when we're finished? How do we properly handle scissors? What are we allowed to cut? Things like that. Putting the lids back on the markers, putting the lid for the pink one on the pink marker, hearing that lid click when it goes on, using crayons lightly and not breaking crayons, not peeling the papers off the crayons. All of those things, they get another chance to practice. So one table is always, always, always some kind of fine motor or arts and crafts table. Another table is usually a building materials table. And that can be things they really need their fine motor skills with, like Legos and things like that. It can be magnet tiles. It can be trains and train tracks, anything like that. So that is another table, and it's things they already know how to use. They know the rules of how to play. Do we knock towers down? No, we do not knock towers down. We can knock our own towers down, but we need to respect other people's things. And we ask for a turn if we want to use something someone else is using. So they get to use those social skills and practice those social skills. Plus, they get this free time to talk with their friends as they're building, as they're coloring, stuff like that. The other table I will put out maybe puzzles one day, maybe a letter activity, maybe whiteboards. So I have another opportunity for them to write, maybe magnetic letters. I'll just find a different kind of activity to put out on that table. And they work there together too. Here's the other great thing is once all the kids have trickled in, I get a chance to come in and socialize and play at those three tables with those kids. My aide is always in there and she's getting a chance to spend time with all those kids. If I have my second aides, those 2 days a week that I have my second aide, they get a chance to hang out with all the kids. You guys, it's great. It is great for the kids to learn independence, how to find something to do, and then they get this extra time to build relationships with their classmates and their teachers. So we are building this fantastic classroom community. Now, how we transition out of this little morning work table time is we have a light helper every day that will go turn the lights off and we'll get a 1 minute warning. Now it's a soft 1 minute. Very rarely is it a minute or less. Most often it is more than 1 minute and can be 2, 3, 4, even 5 minutes long, depending on how engaged the kids are and what the energy level is like in the room. If it's getting too far off the charts, I might want to make that transition a little quicker. If they're doing pretty well and everyone's playing well together, the transition might be a little bit longer. It's just going to depend. Once it's time for real cleanup, the lights go off again and the light helper says, time to clean up, turns the lights back on, and we all clean up the room together. So as teachers, we're on the lookout for kids that just want to go and sit on the rug and not clean up. Sometimes I just go, oh, why are you guys on the rug? We've got to clean up the room. Did you forget about that? Never shaming, never making them feel bad. Or I'll give them a gentle nudge on the back and say, hey, let's go over here. Or I'll say, oh my gosh, Emmett, I really need help with these magnet tiles. You were so good at finding all of them yesterday. Do you think you could help me with that? So I will give them a specific job to do. Or if a child is the teacher helper, I'll say, oh my gosh, you're the teacher helper. This is what I need help with. Look at this Play-Doh table. Let's get all the Play-Doh toys. Will you be responsible for that? And if I am singling them out and saying, you are responsible for this, or oh gosh, I really need your help today, usually that little straggler who doesn't want to help will get in there and start helping. It's amazing how that works. Or I'll bring out floor buckets or something that's a little special for cleaning up, where they don't realize that this thing they think is so much fun and wonderful is just me finding another way to get them to clean up. After I look around and see we're almost all cleaned up, I start to sing a song that gets them to the rug. Now, I just do a really simple put your pockets on the rug, on the rug. Put your pockets on the rug, on the rug. Put your pockets on the rug, on the rug, on the rug. Put your pockets on the rug, on the rug. And they start coming on over. I will usually have a few stragglers that are also just like wanting to test my patience, or maybe they get distracted on the way, or they're just kind of wanting to do their own thing. And sometimes I give them a gentle reminder of what a good choice would be right now, or sometimes I just start our circle time song immediately, and that's their audio cue that they need to be on the rug listening so they can join in on our song for that particular time of the year. I like to switch it up once in a while so that the tunes are really familiar, and again, they're an audio cue. Let's get to the rug. It's time for us to pay attention to what's going on. And then my circle time is full of a lot of little name games, letter activities, number things where we're up and we're down and we're counting and we're jumping and we're clapping and we're stomping. We might do a mantra. We might do, a meditation. It just all depends. It's going to follow the same kind of format, but the activities might get a little bit different every day. So it's something that they know is going to be fun. We're going to participate. There's going to be a lot of different things going on, and they're going to want to be there. They know my circle time activity. I also want to remind them that circle time is not a time to get a drink. That is my time. That is my time where I want them to listen and participate with me. So they can get their drinks during our morning work time. They can get their drinks during center time when we're all making choices and moving around through centers. But when we come in to group, either circle time or whole group time, that is not a time to be popping up and getting a drink. Also, I try to make sure that I give them some opportunities to go to the bathroom and remind them to get a drink before we do our 1 minute warning or at that 1 minute warning point. But you guys, if you do all these things and have this nice routine, it's going to go great. One tip I want to give you too is to maybe have some nice music played at kind of a background level volume so that it's not overpowering and loud and they feel like they have to talk over it, but it's in the background. Sometimes play something super calming, especially if it's during an exciting time of the year, like around Christmas or Halloween when the energy level is just naturally up all the time. Just play something nice in the background. And one way, you guys, that you can make sure that your morning routine goes extremely well is to get those activity tables set up and ready the night before, or come in extra early and get them done in the morning. I'm a morning person, so I love to get it done in the morning when I come in, but my cute aide, she gets it done before. Like, she has days where if she doesn't have something after school, she'll get all that stuff laid out for me so that when I come in, I just take my chairs down and it's ready to go. It's all set up for the kids. So everybody has a different way. Some of us are morning people, some of us are not. So if you get your daily stuff ready the night before, fantastic. Oh, one more thing I want to mention is try to get all your prep done too, and really use that morning work time to build those relationships with your kids, to connect with your kids. Because if you take a few minutes to connect with your kids every single day, classroom management becomes, gosh, so much easier by tens and hundreds. It just will be so much better. That personal relationship thing is what it's all about, especially with little kids. Right now, I have a little student that I love with all of my heart, but he's kind of difficult for my aides. He's not difficult for me. I have taken a lot of time to really get to know this kid, and I kind of noticed that he had his moments where he just wants to be a little bit naughty. Um, I just make him feel super special every day. And because of that, he basically does whatever I say. Or if I say, no, we're just not going to do it that way today, he takes it as word. And I make sure we don't do it that way. I don't give him an inch at the beginning so that they know that when I say something is going to be a certain way, it's going to be a certain way. But I do it in a loving, kind way, and I'm consistent. So that's how that works. But you guys, maybe this week find a child that might be a little bit on the defiant side. And ooh, you might be struggling to even want to form a relationship with them. But gosh, take an extra few minutes every day to give them just a little extra attention and remember some details about them and pepper them into your conversations with them. And I promise you, you will see a change in them and in the level of difficulty of getting them to stop bad choices and to make better choices and to just listen and do what you ask. I swear it works. I promise, promise, promise. Once in a blue moon, it's a little harder than you are ever going to imagine, but for the most part, all this stuff works. I've done it for years. So I hope this helps. If question of the day works beautifully for you, or having the kids come in and sing with another teacher or whatever, or read books, if that works for you, great. I just know that the routine I just laid out for you cuts the chaos, builds the relationship, and helps me have a great day where I'm not exhausted at the end of every single day. I'm tired, but I still feel pretty good. So thanks again for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. Leave any questions or let me know some things you do in your morning routine. I love to throw new things in mine as well.